I spent my entire working life surrounded by technology and innovation. When I was at Netflix, I got to spend many years creating and living a culture that's admired around the world. It's a place where brilliant people thrive and create. It's a culture I'm happy to tell you is alive and well, and they're still pushing the boundaries of how we think about work. So when I left Netflix, I sort of went on this world journey to discover what the world of modern-day work looked like, the world outside of my backyard, outside of the Silicon Valley. So now I travel and I meet with startups and corporations, business schools and CEOs. That startup world, it's every cliche you imagined and more. I have seen at work hammocks, swings, cats, and bartenders. I've been to lovely buildings of large companies with gourmet restaurants and art collections. I get to debate venture capitalists and professors. It's a terrific journey. But here's the really weird thing. We still, pretty much all of us, do the people stuff the way we always have. I was at a conference on women in technology at Twitter not too long ago. Twitter. And the room was full of bright businesswomen and engineers. And the subject of pay equality came up because it always does. And one of these days, maybe I won't have to talk about that on stage anymore. But someone in the audience raised their hand and said, "How does a woman ask for a raise?" And I said, "Seriously, have you been binge-watching Mad Men again? It is not the 1950s. That's not how it works anymore. We changed that stuff up in the 60s. Most companies have complex compensation systems with salary bands, merit increase budgets, bell curve distributions. And if you join a firm and you're paid 20% below what you're worth in the open market for talent, you will never catch up. The math of a 6.5% merit increase budget simply doesn't work in your favor." Horrified, she said, "Are you telling me I have to leave my company to get paid what I'm worth?" Yes. Because unless your company realizes that it's beyond food or fun or foosball, but simply paying you fairly might be the good way to start keeping you. "It's your career," I told her. "Own it." It's shocking, really, how little has changed out there. It's like we never question anything. We just pile more stuff on. We want to feel like our employees are contributing, like they feel like a part of a team, like they're engaged. So we do an employment engagement survey. It's a form that you fill out anonymously, of course. And then we take the results of that engagement survey and we turn it into global corporate initiatives. And then we set out to empower you. You know, empowerment, where I touch you with the magic wand and I sprinkle you with corporate fairy dust and I declare, "You're empowered." Do you know why we have to empower people at work now? Because we spent decades taking it away from them, with rules and process and handbooks and procedures. We think we have to teach people now how to find at work what they walk in the door with every day: power. The power to be great. You know, I've found that if you expect mediocrity, that's precisely what you'll get. But if you expect excellence, you'll be surprised what you get, even from mediocre people. What if instead we gave people the context to operate like business owners? Maybe they'd start acting like business owners. We could teach them how to read a profit and loss statement, how to read a business plan. They could understand the machine and what their part is in it. What if imagine we had teams of powerful, independent people at work. They understand the business and what success looks like. You picked them because you believe in them. They picked you because they believe in what you're doing. What if then we said, We're expecting you to come into work every day and contribute with your hearts and your minds and your creativity. When did we begin to fear and suspect the people that work for us? What happened to the trust between us? Maybe we killed it off slowly with the annual performance review. You know, that horrible, contrived process that we've all come to believe is the only way to give people feedback about their performance at work and determine their pay. Hands up, everybody who loves the annual performance review. Yeah, that'd be nobody, because everybody hates it. The givers, the getters, the administrators. We don't even measure whether or not it improves anybody's performance or the performance of our businesses. But we all do it, pretty much the same way. Seriously? Can't we do better than that? I mean, don't get me wrong, feedback about performance is really important. It matters a lot. It helps us be better. It helps us get better. It's really effective when it's real and it's in the moment. When it includes telling you what you do right, not just what you do wrong. There's got to be a better way to do that. So at one of my startups, we're practicing with a new way of doing it. They're mandating that people have one-on-ones with their manager every week. And every fourth one-on-one is about performance, from the manager to the employee and the employee to the manager. And sometimes they include other team members. It allows them to make corrections in the moment and reward impact. It's real and it's alive. Now, I know you're all thinking, that's really cute, but it's too simplistic, and that'll never work in our corporation. But isn't there some place, somewhere, some dark corner, you can let somebody experiment with it and come up with a better way? When I was at Netflix, we tried really hard to create an environment where people could do their best work, where innovators could innovate. I remember when Steve Jobs called Reed Hastings, our CEO, and asked if we could create a video streaming application for what he referred to as the transformational device. We now know it as the iPad. We had tough deadlines, but we made it, and it was a terrific product, and everybody was using it. So I came flying into our product meeting one morning. I was full of excitement. Touch technology, it's amazing. It's so primal, it's so human to point your finger at something and have it begin to play. Last night I was at a restaurant, and the 2-year-old sitting next to me was streaming SpongeBob in his high chair. I can't wait until I walk into my media room and I swipe my wall and something begins to play. And around the room they started riffing like jazz musicians. Oh, we won't make you get up. No, another one said, you'll reach in your pocket and you'll pull out your smartphone. Yeah, and on the phone will be an app, the Moodometer. And you'll put your thumb on that app and it will say, oh, Patty, are you sad? And instantly a romantic comedy starring all my favorite actresses and actresses will begin to play, and I'll feel better. And I looked around that room and I realized that I was surrounded by the kind of people that if you came up with a great idea and you put the right team together, you could make almost anything happen. And I started to think about them. You know, innovators are different. They approach work differently. They never look back. They look forward and imagine what might be. They don't try and make anything a little bit better. They make mistakes. They move fast. They break stuff. They get rid of stuff that gets in their way. And I realized I had become one of them. I no longer spoke HR. I didn't care about best practices or initiatives or engagement. I cared about the pride that comes from being part of an amazing team that accomplishes amazing stuff. That's what makes people happy at work. And I'm here in front of you today to start a revolution. Because it's time, because we have to. The very nature of work has changed. We can't predict the future. Things move fast. Our computers are in our pockets. We're on the go. Why don't we start by telling each other the truth? Job security is over. Retaining people is a measure that might not even matter. We have to learn to question all the layers of process and approvals and compliance. We have to remove the obstacles that stand in our way and slow us down and take away our spirits. We have to begin to think of our careers as journeys, the places we want to go, the things we want to learn. We should, each of us, think about where do we want to go and how do we want to travel. I want you to start your innovation journey today by going back and questioning the why of what we do at work. And finally, and most importantly, have the courage to throw away the stuff we do that simply doesn't matter. I'm serious. This is my revolution. You should join me. Thank you.